All right, welcome to the daily close. Hope everyone's all right. How you guys doing?
Good, my
Good,
dude.
man.
Good.
That's what I'm talking about. I mean, we're all here. I'm Crypto-pleb. We have BASE Buddha and OX Infinite Bid. Now today we're going to talk about quite a few different projects. We're going to go through some technical analysis for each one of these. Obviously, from the past few days, the market's been having some little bit of turbulence, as you can say, but it might be good to learn how to read these charts and how to play in these kind of times. So definitely stay tuned. Just also bear in mind, this isn't financial advice. We're not financial advisors. So as we do our own research, you should do as well. And if you like what we were talking about too, please like, subscribe, and hit that bell button. We're posting once a week, so keep following us for more. But maybe I'll hand it off over to OX Infinite Bid. Yeah, he's sharing his screen now, and I'll hand it off to you, my man.
Cool. Thank you. So yeah, wanted to go through some technical analysis today. Some interesting things happening in the charts. I guess we'll go over some of the more popular coins, some of the bigger projects like Bitcoin and Ethereum, and some other popular projects that we think you guys might want to invest in too. So let's start off with Bitcoin. I think there's a lot of interesting things happening in the charts right now. I'm going to turn off all these indicators that I don't need. So in the last day, we kind of saw a massive drawdown to around about 28K, 28,800-ish. And then subsequently massive volume on that candle too. And if I zoom out a little bit, you can see that we're in this trading range. That a lot of people have already identified in the past. And where we were yesterday, it was the bottom of the range. I think if we weren't able to hold the range, then we would have definitely gone down to like 27, 28. But hopefully this is the bottom. This green line isn't actually part of the range that I drew. Actually, it marks another bottom. If I remove this green line, it kind of looks like we deviated below the trading range. So the trading range for me is 32.5K, and the top of the range is about 36,687, sorry, to be exact. So what tends to happen is we tend to deviate below these ranges on the top and the bottom to mainly sort of liquidate people who might be shorting at the bottom or longing at the bottom. That's what institutions tend to do. And now we're kind of moving up back into the range. I don't know if anyone tells you they know what's going to happen next, they're lying, because they don't.
Hopeful.
Technical analysis allows us to predict and make educated guesses as to what we think will happen in the market. But right now, it looks like Bitcoin wants to bounce a little bit. It looks like it wants to push up. My guess is probably going to come up to this range here at around 34,600, where the 50 EMA is, before making a decision. If we get enough volume to push through, we'll probably try and reclaim the mid range. So if we push past this, we might do something like this, and then if we fall back down, we will probably come back down to the bottom of the range again. So that's one scenario I'm looking at right now. If we are able to push above the mid range with with volume, then we can look at price moving back up to the top of the range again. But we do have some resistances along the way. I like to use EMAs, so exponential moving averages, as resistance. So the white one you see here is the 20-day 20 moving simple, sorry, and the purple line is the 200 EMA. Now I'm on a 4-hour right now, but if I switch to a daily, oops, I'm getting rid of that. If we switch to a daily, you can see the sort of larger picture here, and what a lot of people have been talking about, as I'm sure, a lot of you have heard already, is, the Wyckoff distribution and the Wyckoff accumulation patterns that have been going a lot on. So if I draw a parallel channel, let's just call this the trading range here. This area, I think it was a 3-month period from the middle of the middle of February to the middle of May. We were consolidating in this trading range for about 3 months, which we can call a Wyckoff distribution phase. I think let me just bring up a chart real quick of Wyckoff distribution so you can see the similarities. So give me 1 second. So we're currently in a Wyckoff. What happened before was a Wyckoff distribution range. If you compare the sort of charts here, I'm not sure if you can see that clearly, but it looks very, very similar to what a Wyckoff distribution range looks like. And then you can see we had the sell-off down into phase E. I think we've already had the phase E, the capitulation. And now with the current range that we're in, it can be a Wyckoff accumulation. It can be seen as a Wyckoff accumulation range as long as we hold this trading range. If we fall below this trading range, then that will be invalidated. Or it could be that we're still in the redistribution phase. So that's yet to be seen. I think the good news so far is that we've seen a local bottom for the market. There will be a little bit of a bounce. I think we're playing a little bit of a bounce right now. If I bring my indicators onto the chart, we've got 1, 2, 3 drives of bullish divergence since the beginning of this range, which is a good sign. I think it's playing out a little bit now. For me to get bullish again and to see it trade to the top of this range, I'd like to see us. Firstly, I'd like to see a little bit more volume come through. I'd like to see the RSI reclaim the neutral territory here, the neutral mid range, and the Stoke RSI is pointing upwards, so that's a good sign. But a little bit more volume, and for us to really reclaim this mid trading range here on Bitcoin. So that's what I'm currently looking at now. I'm just looking to play this level by level.
What are you feeling? Maybe you feeling somewhat bearish for what you looking at now, or are you thinking you need to see a few more confirmations before you can really?
Yeah, I'm pretty neutral at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be playing this range here to the mid range, and then if we manage to reclaim that and retest that as support, then this will be the range that I'm playing here. So I think
it's neutral.
Yeah, I think for the bulls, we really need to just keep trading within this range. I mean, I think it's unlikely that we break out of this range anytime soon, honestly. If we do break out, then that's actually really, really good. And then we can look at, movements up towards the, 43, 44,000 before retesting the bottom of the previous range, which is like 47K. But I personally think the best case for the bulls right now is just to continue trading within this range. If we break below this range, then bears will definitely take control, and we'll probably come to this. Well, we've already touched this previous low point back in January 2001. So
right on the dot.
I feel like we'll probably come back down towards maybe 27-ish, where there's a little bit of price action going on here, and then subsequently down to about 24, where we saw a lot of price action at the end of last year. So that's what I think about the charts right now. I mean, for the bulls, even if we do make it out of this trading range, there's always a chance of, the bull trap playing out. Bull traps tend to happen around the 0.5 and the 0.618 fib lines. And if we draw a fib retracement,
here. Yeah.
If we draw a fib retracement, the 0.5 is kind of aligning with the bottom of the previous trading range that I drew, which is about 47,000, and the 618 is around 51,600. So if price does get here relatively quickly, I would see that as a bull trap, and then price come back down again. Whether we make lower lows is something yet to be seen. But I do suspect if we make our way into this trading range in the next couple of weeks, we can expect there to be a bit of a bull trap around the 0.5 and the 618.
Sure.
What do you make of the death cross? I mean, pretty much hit the cross between the 50 and 200 SMA.
Yeah. So the death cross. So death cross for people who don't know is when the 50 EMA crosses below the 200 EMA. Here it's indicated by the orange line and the purple line here. So you can see the death cross is pretty much happened already. I think if we look at previous times this has happened in Bitcoin's history, the death cross, I mean, so the orange line crosses so here we go.
Yeah.
Here's another example in the past. I mean, it looks pretty similar to this, to be honest. When the death cross actually happened, that was the low.
Sure.
If we draw a vertical line from where this happened, well, it's not very vertical, but it's pretty much at the low of this dump, right? And then we subsequently make our way back up to the cross here again, where the orange crosses the purple. So I think this is potentially something that could happen. Another case is, we see here again the 50 EMA crosses the 200 EMA, but this time it crosses. This is a bit of a fake out, in my opinion, and then we cross above again, and that's when we get the massive dump. So the first death cross is usually a fake out, and then we usually retest that area with another cross to the upside before the real death cross actually happens. So right now,
would you say isn't this the first death cross though?
Yeah, since so we started since
March
May 2020.
Yeah.
May 2020. Yeah, this was actually a bit of a black swan event, actually, because this was the March 2020 dump, the coronavirus dump time. So yeah, the death cross, it is a bad sign, but I don't think I think we've either played that out and we'll get a bit of a push to the upside, and then maybe another cross to the upside before the real death cross comes, where we could see Bitcoin at 20K.
For a proper dump, but perhaps someone who keeps their powder dry has a good buying opportunity, getting Bitcoin at a discount, because before it jumped back up again. So it's something to be hopeful about. And I'm also kind of assuming that after people come to grips with some of the FUD coming out of China, and realize that's a good thing to have miners going to different countries and not just be centralized in one country. Perhaps people will see the good out of that and start investing more into Bitcoin. So I think people just got to move past some of the fears that are going on right now too.
Yeah. One thing that does worry me, though, outside of all of this, is that the bullish news like that, bullish news like EIP 1559, typically in bull markets, they have a big effect on price. So you'll see like massive movements up in price with bullish news, like El Salvador, for example. However, we haven't really seen that And that indicates to me that, you know, we're in a market where, well, we've entered a market where, you know, bullish news doesn't have a big effect on price, and that has more of a bearish twist to it. So that's one thing that worries me right now. I think, yeah, those are my thoughts on where we're at the moment. We're going to have to see how this plays out, but in the short to medium term, I think we will play out a little bit of a bounce, and then we'll have to go from there. So okay, let's check out Ethereum. So
Yeah.
Ethereum is looking a lot weaker than Bitcoin actually. I suspect that Bitcoin will outperform most of the market in the coming months. Mainly because, sorry, I'm just going to jump to the Bitcoin dominance chart for a second.
Sure.
You can see this was from all the way from, you know, beginning of Jan this year. Bitcoin dominance took a massive tumble.
Yeah.
You know, and this what we're seeing in the price action for Bitcoin dominance now is a good sign of reversal. So I expect Bitcoin dominance to actually come back up and test this this 52. I think if we scroll out, you can see that I've marked it as this previous low here. Whether we get above 52, I don't know, but I do expect it to come up and test this 52 mark. So that means that for the meanwhile, Bitcoin will start to slowly outperform alts, and alts will bleed against Bitcoin. So that makes sense that the Ethereum chart looks like shit, to be honest.
Troubling.
If you compare it to, if you look at where the moving averages are, you know, you've got the 200 EMA and the 200 simple right here, and we're trading right in between the 200 EMA and the 200 simple right now. But if you compare that to Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is actually,
We're trading under it.
yeah, we're
Right.
trading. I mean, just with price action,
at least on a daily time frame, yeah.
Yeah, price action looks just a lot weaker here on Ethereum. I think that could change on a dime though, with the news of EIP 1559 coming out. We may see like a massive pump from Ethereum. But right now, you know, we don't even have any drives of bullish divergence.
Yeah.
You know, the RSI, Stochastic RSI is coming up a little bit, but I think that Bitcoin will be leading the way, and sort of like the market leader in terms of direction. So
like Taproot coming out too. So couldn't that possibly, if it plays out well, play very well in Bitcoin's favor over ETH?
Yeah, Taproot's coming out in November, so that's still a few months away. But for the time being, I think the market will everything will just move in the direction that Bitcoin chooses. So for me, you can see I've drawn a trading range again on Ethereum, but we're currently sitting at the bottom of the range. There's a little bit of deviation. So far, it's holding the 20 simple, the 20 daily simple quite well. If we do fall from here and Bitcoin decides to take decides to plummet, then the next target will probably be around 1,480, around the area where the 377 is right now. And that's in line with where we've had the previous lows. If I just draw a ray here, where we've had that SR flip. This is probably the area that I would be looking to place some buy orders if we don't hold this range. On the bullish side of things, if we are able to reclaim the 200 EMA, I'd expect us to make a move, maybe back up to, you know, 2,200, maybe even 2,300, where the 21 EMA is. The 21 EMA is usually a good area to where you see, typically many traders take profit. So depending on what sort of volume we get, 21 EMA is a place to look out for, to see whether we reject or whether we can push past 21 EMA and back into the mid-range here, which is for me just above 2300, just above 2300.
Did ETH have that death cross that we saw in BTC?
No.
Yeah,
So we're not getting the death cross on Ethereum yet. It's when the orange line, the 50 EMA crosses the 200. We haven't got that yet. But if things continue to consolidate in the lower range, I'm pretty sure it'll be coming down the line.
Sure.
I think everything is just lagging behind Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin is leading the way. So we'll have to see.
Yeah.
I think Ethereum is looking weaker than Bitcoin though. And so, not financial advice, but, I have, I'm holding more Bitcoin at the moment than I am Ethereum. And I'm holding even more stables than I am Bitcoin. So I'm not hoping for a dump, but if it happens, I will be in a position where I'm ready to buy back. And I would rather buy back 10% higher and confirm, that there's an uptrend than risk holding a 50%, 60% drawdown from here. So, what a lot of people don't realize is that, when something retraces 80%, on Ethereum, for example, we've had like a 61% drawdown. We can have another 60% drawdown from there.
Yeah.
And another 60% drawdown from there. Another 60% drawdown from the lows here would be, give me a sec.
It's not a bag I want to be left holding.
It'd be like 659. But the point I'm trying to make is that you think that it can't go down further when it's gone down like 80-90%, but it can also go down like another 80-90%.
Yeah, especially in this market where it's very driven by a lot of liquidation.
Yeah, you get that cascading effect too.
Over leveraged people getting liquidated.
Basically.
Well, hopefully it's not as bad as the precipitous fall of Titan. As long as it's not as bad as that, that'll be good.
Yeah, well, Titan kind of Titan did a minus 5,000%, didn't it? It might as well be minus. Might as well be minus.
I think it literally just went down to zero.
Just a straight bar down.
But yeah, so far Bitcoin looks like it wants to be testing a little bit higher. I think that at the end of the day, if Bitcoin decides to fall, ADA will probably fall harder. There will be some altcoins that do outperform Bitcoin in this market. I'm not going to say all of them. Bitcoin will outperform all of them, but generally, Bitcoin will outperform probably 95% of the altcoins out there, maybe even more, like 98%.
All right, sorry about that, guys. My Zoom just cut out. Don't really know why, but OX Infinite Bid, you were talking about how Bitcoin, as it goes up, when it goes up, it usually outperforms about 95% of the altcoins. That's why the BTC dominance chart is so important, right?
Yeah, I think in particular, particularly now, because we had this massive run of alts since the beginning of 2021, and now we've got a clear sign of reversal on Bitcoin dominance. So yeah, Bitcoin will continue to outperform the majority of alts. I think maybe some of the stronger alts like Cardano or Matic, for example, might hold its own against Bitcoin, and maybe even ETH, but the majority of the other alts will start to bleed against their Bitcoin pairing, which means that you will be losing BTC value if Bitcoin moves up or down, essentially. So
Sure.
yeah, I mean, a lot of food for thought in terms of the price action and you know, where the market is right now. We're currently sitting at the bottom of the trading range. If we can't hold this, then it will probably go down. But in my opinion, we're probably going to bounce up a little bit from here.
Fair. No, it's the quality stuff. I mean, you went over a lot of things about how to read these charts, how they go through these turbulent times in regards to BTC and ETH. So I think this is good alpha. You know, I'll definitely look into this and use this as I trade into these turbulent times. But yeah, so I mean, this is just what I want to talk about. Hope you guys enjoyed hearing about you know, how to rate these charts, what to look forward to, what to look out for. You know, we make videos once a week, so you know, if you want to keep hearing all the alpha that we have to provide, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and hit that bell button for the daily close, and you know, just keep getting more of this information. I mean, I love it, so you will too.
Cool.
May the
Thank you very
pump be with
much.
you.
May the
May the
pump be
pump be with
you.
you.
That's my man right there. Always. See ya.
Bye.
Peace.